Transgender issues are finally coming to the forefront, and it's about time. Love it or hate it, this is definitely a divisive issue right now. Transgender people are stepping into the spotlight to make their voices heard. And whether you support their struggle or not, you have to recognize their achievements. From fashion, to business, to stardom, transgender people have much to celebrate, which is why we've compiled this list. Congratulations go out to these amazing people for their contributions! Here's our favorite transgender celebrities, soon to be yours too. First up, a fashion icon. 1. Andrea Pajic. This Australian model won top male and hottest female in the same year. Formerly an androgynous male model, Andre was discovered while at work in Melbourne. At a McDonald's no less. At only 16 she began to model fashion for both men and women. She's been featured in Vogue, walked countless runways, and has made many top 100 hottest lists. In 2014, Andre completed her gender reassignment surgery and now solely identifies as a woman. I thought about being gay, but it didn't fit. I thought, well, maybe this. Next up, a former Playboy model and Bond girl. 2. Caroline Toulacosi. The first transgender Playboy model and Bond girl! Toula is one of the most famous trans women in the world. Born intersex with XXXY genotype, Toula was raised male, but never identified with the gender. At 17 she began receiving hormone therapy and began identifying as female. She slowly transitioned, first with a breast augmentation, then a full gender reassignment in 1974. Her list of accomplishments is long: showgirl in Paris, model in England, role in the 1981 Bond film, For Your Eyes Only, and the first trans woman to appear in Playboy. Where is she now? Happily married to her husband David Finch. The biggest step wasn't going out in public wearing female clothes and makeup, but rather getting my ears pierced. Back then in 1971, it wasn't just a case of men didn't get their ears pierced, but most women didn't either. But I wanted to look pretty and wear earrings, and there was no way I was going to wear any of those horrible clip-ons. So I decided I was definitely going to have my ears pierced, and got them done just before my 17th birthday. Next up, the first man to give birth. 3. Thomas Beattie. The first man who gave birth. Born Tracy Lewinani Lagondino, Thomas underwent a very unique gender reassignment surgery that retained his female reproductive organs. 1 year after his surgery, he married his wife, Nancy, in Hawaii. In 2007, Thomas began the in vitro process that allowed him to become pregnant. Using donor sperm, Thomas and Nancy were able to have a child together. Unfortunately, he lost the first pregnancy, but went on to have 3 successful pregnancies. Nancy and he divorced due to her continual spousal abuse and abuse of the children. Lucky for Thomas, he met Amber Nicholas recently, and the two are now planning a wedding. My friends, they're kind of always joking and asking questions like, how did this happen? How does this work? Just funny things, but really my friends and family are very supportive of us and they love Thomas. Next up, the original LGBT sensation. 4. Alexis Arquette. The original LGBT star, the sister of Patricia and David Arquette, she is famous for roles on the big and small screen. Her parents knew from a young age that she was different from her siblings. Even Patricia recalls how Alexis always defied gender roles, even as early as kindergarten. Her first role came on Down and Out in Beverly Hills and the offers came steadily pouring in. A darling of the indie film scene, her extensive portfolio is impressive. A documentary was made about her life called Alexis Arquette, She's My Brother that received critically positive reviews. She still performs, though now in drag as Eva Destruction. I realized I'm not the kind of person who wants to go with the flow and fit in. I'm an agitator, I'm opinionated, I'm a libertine and leader. Next up, an editor of a major publication. 5. Janet Mock. She went from sex worker to editor of People magazine! Former staff editor for People, Janet revealed in 2011 that she is a trans woman. Forced into sex work at 16, she eventually made her way out of that life and into academia. She attended the University of Hawaii at Manoa for her Bachelor of Arts in Fashion Merchandising, and later went to New York University to get her Master's in Arts in Journalism. At 18 she traveled to Thailand to undergo sexual reassignment surgery. She recently published a book titled, Redefining Realness. I believe that telling our stories, first to ourselves and then to one another and the world, is a revolutionary act. It is an act that can be met with hostility, exclusion, and violence. It can also lead to love, understanding, transcendence, and community. I hope that my being real with you will help empower you to step into who you are and encourage you to share yourself with those around you. Next up, a well-known figure for trans rights. 6. Chaz Bono. Famous for becoming himself. Born Chastity Bono to ultra-famous Sonny and Cher, Chaz is the couple's only child. While originally identifying as a lesbian, Chaz finally came to understand his own identity was not female but male. He transitioned in 2008 and legally changed his name to Chaz. We would have called you that regardless, just because you asked so nicely. He's been a prominent figure in many social awareness campaigns, and isn't afraid to trade on his fame to get his message out. I confused gender identity with sexual orientation. Your gender identity is about who you are, how you feel, the sex that you feel yourself to be. Sexual orientation is who you're attracted to. Next up, a familiar face for fans of America's Next Top Model. 7. Isis King. America's Next Top Transgender Woman! Isis King is famously known as one of the first open transgender people when she was a contestant on the 11th and 17th seasons of Tyra Banks' America's Next Top Model. King was born a biological male and came out as gay in high school, though she never felt that identity suited her. After having gender reassignment therapy in 2009, King was featured on talk shows and magazines for her cultural influence as a transgender woman. She continues to work as a model. Now I'm just really wanting the world to see my first talent. Next up, a Netflix sensation. 8. Laverne Cox. Laverne Cox is the new transgender superstar. Laverne landed on the set of Orange is the New Black like an atom bomb. She blew everyone away with her incredible performing skills. One of the breakout stars of the show, Laverne is constantly in the spotlight. Like when she became the first openly transgender person nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award, or the first openly trans person to grace the cover of Time. She is an active voice in the fight against violence against trans women, and a role model for all people everywhere. We are not what other people say we are. We are who we know ourselves to be, and we are what we love. That's okay. Next up, the new girl on the block. 9. Caitlyn Jenner. She might be the new girl, but she's catching up quick. This former Olympic athlete and reality TV star is, without a doubt, the world's most recognizable trans personality. Her transition was widely speculated upon and documented in the media. Finally, in April of 2015, Caitlyn went on 2020 to declare the news that she was transitioning. The public outcry of support and derision was instant and game-changing. The media frenzy that unfurled sparked the global conversation that we're currently having. Love her or hate her, she's done more for trans awareness than any other person. Her spin-off reality show, I Am Kate, has been met with mixed reviews, but that's neither here nor there. What's most important is the public awareness of the issues facing trans people everywhere. I always felt that my greatest asset was not my physical ability, it was my mental ability. Next up, a film director whose work we all love. 10. Lana Wachowski. She's written her way into history. A professional director, producer, and screenwriter, Lana is one of the more recognizable figures in Hollywood today. and not for her gender identity, but for her contributions to the art of filmmaking. Who hasn't seen The Matrix or V for Vendetta? Lana and her brother famously brought these movies to the big screen and we all loved them. Lana transitioned in 2009, maintaining her privacy until 2012 when she began living openly as female. Lana won the HRC, Human Rights Campaign, Visibility Award in 2012. What if, instead of responding out of our fear or anxiety, we learned to listen to the heart of those who make us uncomfortable?